Hello super friends and welcome to DC TV Talk. This is the show where we talk all things Supergirl, The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow and Arrow. And in today's episode we're going to be talking about what's going to be going down in next week's episode of Supergirl. It of course returned this week along with all the other DC TV shows with its mid-season premiere. And I think the mid-season premiere was a very solid episode of Supergirl. I really enjoyed it. I think it had plenty of great elements to it. But episode 11 looks to be dealing with a very interesting concept. So, episode 11 of season 3 is entitled Fort Rozz, and it is a very interesting concept, as if you look at the promo, which you're seeing in the background right now, you can see that Supergirl is going to be teaming up with a couple of villains who we've come across before. One of them being Livewire, who we of course seen across all seasons of Supergirl, and also the character of Psy, who was introduced in episode 2 of this season. And she's going to be teaming up with them to take down Rain. So why might Kara have to go to these villains to fight Rain? Well, based on what happened at the very end of episode 10, we saw that Rain met with that guy. I don't remember his name off the top of my head, I apologise. But she met with that Supergirl cult leader guy who has been around this season. And he seems to be teamed up with these other Kryptonians who created Rain. And Rain's creators say that she has a team. So this means that Rain is going to be getting some more allies going forward this season, and that could leave Supergirl outmatched, because although she does have the Legion, of course, the Legion might not be around for that long. They may be gone, so it kind of depends on what's going to happen with the Legion this season and how long they're going to stick around. But it seems that Supergirl is going to need a bit more support, as, yeah, like I said, she has the Legion, but who else does she really have? John Jones, but when does he ever go into action? So, yeah. So first we have Livewire, who I'm very surprised is returning, because unless it's just for this one episode, which I think it is, but the actress is actually on Riverdale now, playing Penny Peabody on that show, so I was surprised that she's actually come back to play Livewire for one episode. But it is cool to have her back, because she has been kind of that one recurring villain throughout Supergirl. We've seen her in every season, I believe, so it's quite cool to see her come back in season 3. I was kind of wondering if she was going to come back at some point, so it was cool to see her, and she's definitely going to be a good accomplice for Supergirl. And then we also have Psy, who, like I said, was introduced in episode 2 of season 3. She was kind of like the first, villain of the week who we had, and that's all I thought she was. Even though in the run-up to that episode, we were kind of told, it was quite a big casting announcement that when she was cast, and I kind of thought, if she's just going to be in one episode, that's a bit of a waste. But it turns out she's not going to be in just one episode. We see her teamed up with Supergirl here. She also kind of has this thing around her head, which is obviously going to limit her psychiatric abilities. So yeah, I think that's going to be a really cool addition. So, at the start of the video I said that it's going to be dealing with a very interesting concept in this episode, and what I think that is Supergirl's version, and hear me out here, of the Suicide Squad. Now, Suicide Squad was obviously a very difficult concept for the DC TV shows to use because of what happened in the film, because obviously in the DCU, or the DCEU, whatever it's being called now, in that universe, obviously there is the Suicide Squad there and the Suicide Squad movie, so this made it very prohibiting for the DC TV shows to use that team. If you remember back to Season 2 and Season 3 of Arrow, you'll remember that Arrow was going to do a Suicide Squad storyline. We had Diggle kind of being the Rick Flag of the Suicide Squad, and he was leading Deadshot. He also had Cupid, there was Bronze Tiger, and obviously they did have Amanda Waller on the show as well. But unfortunately, because of the Suicide Squad movie, it actually had to force Arrow to drop that storyline completely, which is why we never actually saw Harley Quinn fully, and why Deadshot was killed off immediately. This was very unfortunate because the Suicide Squad as a concept would have fit so well on Arrow at that point in time, because this is when Arrow was really more in its dark phase, so it would have fit there really, really well. And some of the concepts they were playing with, like, that version of Deadshot was really cool, and the way his story was linked to Diggle's was really great. That is one of the best storylines of Arrow in my opinion. And also the way that they teased Harley Quinn at the end and then we never actually got to see her, it was a very big missed opportunity, and I hate the DCU for doing that. However, the whole concept of the Suicide Squad is taking villains and actually making them do good things because they're kind of dispensable. And that's what seems to be happening here on Supergirl. Supergirl, she's going to need some help and support, so she's going to get some metahumans from the villains that she's met in her crime-fighting years. So she's teamed up with people like Livewire and Psy, because if they die, then it's kind of a contingency. If they die, it doesn't really matter. So it's a cool idea. Now, of course, we don't know if this actually is, you know, kind of a form of the Suicide Squad or even that concept. It could be that these two villains actually want to go against Reign as well, and maybe they're just saying to Supergirl, oh look, we'll help you take on this person in, you know, response if you give us less time in prison, or whatever, you know, something like that, which is, again, very similar to what the Suicide Squad does. You know, if the Suicide Squad, if they complete a mission, they get time off their sentence. It's a very similar sort of thing, and I feel that's what could be applied here. This is also very similar to what happened in the mid-season finale of Arrow Season 5, where Arrow went to Slade Wilson, aka Deathstroke, and he also went to Captain Boomerang, who of course were both in that jail cell on Lian-Yu. And obviously Deathstroke was going to help him anyway, because he the Mirakuru had worn off, so he was just Slade Wilson again. But if you remember, Oliver said to Captain Boomerang, look, you help me, you walk. And that's kind of how it works. So he said, you know, if you help me take on Prometheus, I'll let you go. And I think that's a similar thing here. I'm really, really excited for this episode because I just love the Suicide Squad. I think it's such a cool comic, and I really love those that concept. So to see Supergirl kind of doing its own version of it, especially when Supergirl has been so strong this season. You know, if this was back in like Season 1, I would have been so worried about them doing a potential Suicide Squad type thing. But the fact that Supergirl Season 3 has been so strong, I'm so excited to see how they do this. And also to see like a fight with all these characters against Reign is going to be an insane action scene. So where's the Legion in all this? I mean, we do see in this promo when we have Supergirl, Livewire, and Psy all walking together, we do see Imra, aka Saturn Girl, walking with them as well. Saturn Girl is kind of on that team with them. But we don't see Mon-El at all, and we don't see Brainiac 5 at all. So I feel that maybe them two are just going to be out of commission. Like, maybe they're the replacements, you know, you kind of lose 2 members, so we have to gain 2. Like, maybe something's just going to happen to Mon-El and Brainiac 5 where they can't use them, so they need 2 more people. But we don't really know what's going to happen unless this happens very early on in the episode. You know, nothing happened in episode 10 where Mon-El's out of commission or Brainiac 5's out of commission, and of course neither was Imra, so it's kind of hard to decipher what's going to happen to those 2 characters if they are out of commission for this episode, because we have had no hints of it. Unless, like I say, it happens very early on in episode 11. I don't really see why they're not getting involved, unless they are and we just don't see them all in this trailer. It's just a bit of a hard thing to decipher at this time. So, are you guys excited for the Suicide Squad to come to Supergirl? I know it's not the Suicide Squad, but it's just kind of, it is kind of Supergirl's interpretation of the Suicide Squad, and it is kind of that concept, and that's what I'm really excited about. It's the concept, not necessarily the fact they're doing the Suicide Squad. But I'm really excited to see how this storyline is going to play out. I'm really excited to see what Supergirl offers to these villains, potentially, to get them to join her, and I really want to see the big fight at the end with all of them teamed up. I think it's going to be an insane piece. So, thank you guys for watching this episode of DC TV Talk. If you enjoyed this video, then please give it a like and share with anyone and everyone you know who loves DC TV and get them to join the community. And like I said, guys, tell me in the comment section below what you think about this episode coming up and this promo. Also, tell me what you thought of the mid-season premiere of Supergirl. Like I said at the start of the video, I thought it was a very solid episode and a very solid premiere. And also, Brainiac 5 was really good in it, to be fair. He still looks stupid, but he was great. But I'll see you guys next time.